Myself, Amal Satish. I will be the trainer for AWS Solution Architect Associate level course. I am into IT from last 6 years, and from last 4.5 years, I am working with AP2V Solutions as a trainer. Here in AP2V, we teach almost all the trending technologies in IT like DevOps, Linux, cloud computing, Python, and almost all the programming languages. In cloud computing, we do trainings on Azure, GCP, AWS, and Red Hat OpenStack also. Me, I am a Red Hat certified system administrator. I am a Red Hat certified engineer. I am a Red Hat certified specialist in Ansible automation. I am a Red Hat certified specialist in OpenShift administration. I am a star certified DevOps expert. I am certified in OpenStack Cloud, and I am certified in AWS Cloud also. So in this course, the course name is AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate Level. See, a solution architect means one who can give a solution to the company or solution to someone who is planning to migrate into cloud. And we know the AWS is the leading cloud provider in the market, and there is a lot of vacancies for those who know how to work on this AWS cloud. If you know a bit like how to work on servers, maybe Windows or Linux servers, how to work on databases, how to work on storage devices, how to work on networking, then for those candidates can easily cover up this course. The duration of the course will be 24 hours. And if you're considering monthly, then it will be a 1 month course. The outline of the course, you can see here that this is the content of the course, and the duration will be of 24 hours. So if you're talking about the content of the course, the first chapter will be Introduction to Cloud Computing. So in this chapter, we will be discussing what is cloud computing, what is the benefits of cloud computing, what is the need of a cloud computing, and what are the leading cloud providers. Then types of cloud computing, we are having different type of cloud: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud. And what are the major services from a cloud, like infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. Then we are talking about what is virtualization, what is the differences between virtualization and cloud computing. Then the fourth chapter will be Amazon Web Services, AWS. This will be introduction to AWS. What are the AWS cloud? What is AWS cloud, and what are the different type of AWS products? What is regions and availability zones where AWS is having the data centers and all? How can we sign up into AWS, and how can we create an AWS free account? AWS is giving you 1 year free account. So here in this chapter, we will be discussing how can we create a 1 year free account in AWS. And from the fifth chapter, actually, we are studying how to work on the AWS, and we are studying here EC2 service. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud, which is a computing service from AWS. And here we will be discussing how can we create a virtual server in AWS, how can we provide security for that servers, how can we access those servers, how can we remotely access those servers, and what is on-demand instance, what is reserved instance, what is spot instance, how can we create an AMI, how can we create a new instances using EMI, and what is public IP, how can we get the private IP addresses, how can we migrate from AWS to another cloud, how can we create the key pair, and what is elastic IPs. So these are the topics which is coming in the chapter number 5, EC2 instances. Then in chapter number 6 is elastic load balancer. What is elastic load balancer? How can we work on a load balancer and forwarding the loads to multiple EC2 instances? How can we add and remove instances on the load balancer? The next chapter will be storage. So here we will be discussing how can we create extra storages in AWS? How can we attach and detach the volumes? How can we mount and unbound the volumes? How can we create and delete the snapshots? How can we create volumes for the snapshots, like snapshot of the volumes and all. So here totally we will be discussing about the block storage service. As we know, the block storage means like a hard disk. How can we create a new hard disk? How can we create new volumes? How can we attach and detach those volumes into the instances and all? Then S3 is symbol storage service. It's a storage service from Amazon again, and this is actually an object storage. Previously we discussed EBS. EBS is a block storage, and S3 is providing you an object storage. So here in S3 we are discussing what is object storage versus traditional storage, what is the differences between these things, what is S3, and then how can we create S3 buckets, how can we upload and download data into buckets, how can we give permissions, how can we create versioning on this, how can we plan the life cycle, and what is Amazon Glacier also. On the next chapter, Amazon VPC. So it's the most important chapter in this course. Again, in this chapter is completely related to networking. So here we are discussing how can we create Amazon VPC. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. How can we create our own VPC? How can we create subnets? How can we define routers? How can we create gateways? How can we configure DHCP, elastic IPs, network interfaces, security group, ACLs? So all these things will be coming under the VPC, and this will be totally related to the networking concept. Then in CloudWatch, AWS CloudWatch is a service from AWS which is used to monitor the AWS resources. So if you are creating some AWS resources and you want to monitor those resources, so here we can use CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a service from AWS. So what is CloudWatch dashboard? Then how can we configure the monitoring services? How can we configure a threshold? And how can we configure actions, how can we create alarms. So all these topics will be coming under this CloudWatch. Then simple notification service. This is a notification service from Amazon. SNS, notification service means if you want to notify someone through email or messaging or any other protocols, if you want, then we can use this SNS service for sending the notifications. Then SES stands for Simple Email Services. So in SES, we will be discussing how can we create a mail exchanger, how can we work on AWS mail exchangers and all. Then SQS, here we are discussing it's a simple queuing service. Here we are discussing how can we create a queue in AWS, and it's a queuing service. Auto scaling means on demand. Suppose if you are having a lot of load on your application, you want to scale your application. So how can we scale up our application? Say scale up and scale down. So both horizontal and vertical scaling differences, bootstrapping. How can we create a launch configuration or launch template? Then how can we create auto scaling group? Then how can we create a policy for our auto scaling group? And we will be setting up some load balancer for creating this auto scaling and all. Then next topic is AWS IAM. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. So here in this topic, we will be discussing how can we create some users on your AWS account, user and groups, like same like we are creating local users and groups in our machines. So here we are discussing how can we create a user and groups in AWS cloud. How can we create user groups? How can we apply policy, password policies and all. The next topic will be relational database service. This is a database service from Amazon. Relational database, like we will be discussing about the SQL languages. So here, how can we create an RDS instance? How can we deploy an RDS database inside Amazon? How can we create the backup of those databases? Those will be coming under this chapter. Next chapter will be DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database. So in RDS, we are discussing about the SQL databases, and in DynamoDB, we will be discussing about the NoSQL databases. In CloudFormation, it's like a template. We are developing our own template for managing the infrastructure and all. CloudFormation is an infrastructure as a code service from Amazon. So here we will be discussing how can we create template, how can we create stack, how can we delete stack. Okay. Then next topic will be CloudFront. CloudFront, actually, this is a CDN service. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. So here we are discussing how can we create the cache. How can we create cache of your applications so that your application will be high available without any latency and all. Then the last topic will be domain name system, DNS, and Amazon Route 53. So here we will be discussing about how can we manage DNS as a service in AWS cloud. So this is the course content. After completing this course, As we see in the content, like we will be working on multiple AWS services, so you can be an expert in those services. And we are doing almost all hands-on practices on all the topics in all the services in AWS. Like we know cloud computing is one of the most trending technologies in IT now. There's a lot of vacancies for those candidates who knows AWS, who knows how to work on AWS, and as well as the certified candidates also. So moreover, we can continue in the next classes, or we can continue the course. So this is all about the introduction part. You can contact us anytime for further inquiries. Have a good day. Thank you.